From season 5 prediction debate, okay, the town has never been this exposed. Not once in 4 seasons have these people gone into the dark with nothing between them and the thing in the tree. That's not hype, that's literally where the final letters. The bottle tree is out of the ground, the talisman are gone, two more people are dead. One of the kindest people on this show now has claw. And the man who held the line since episode on just said that one sentence I never thought I'd hear from him. We never should have put that tree. This is the end game, not a vibe. A confirmed fact, season 5 is from final season announced by MGM in mid-April 2026, straight from the network, calling it a final chapter as unforgettable as the mystery itself. They also confirmed from is the most watched show in the network history, which means this ending is getting real shows, not a quick cancellation. So today, one rule I will tell you what confirms and what is strong in France and what just a wild theory, because a lot of what floating around out there is people confusing the tree. Let's go. If a tree fall in the forest, move almost every piece on the board at once. Jed and Tabitha got into the chamber and pulled the Ankui children bones out of the ground. The kids sacrificed in the original deal. The second that tree came up, sunlight hit a chamber that should never see daylight. Huge image, it means the most fundamental rule of this show, the dark always win, just cracked. But Jed holds the bone and admits he has the object, not the instruction. Remember that line, it's the whole season. Meanwhile, the thing wearing Sophia face was busy stripping every talisman it could find of the town and burning them, saying, "Now I light the match and I watch it burn." This is not symbolic. Talisman work independently of the tree. We have watched them work for 4 seasons. Destroying them is entirely confirming they were real protection and now it's gone. Then the body, Ilgin found a photo proving the entity were the face of the dead. Sophia included refused his deal, prayed instead, and got hand crushed to death for it. The clinic lost its talisman in the quake. Smelly, Kamen, Mardil died, Christy, Arm, and Fatima, this is the one to get exactly right, was not killed. She was turning her transformation, secretly accelerated by T, laced with the entity blood courtesy of Clara. But even mid-chance she held the line in the tunnel so the other could escape and told Illy remembered me as I was. Henry convinced the town is a false reality, standing between him and a real hospital bed, pointed a gun and his own son Victory. Ethan interruption is the only reason that's not a murder, and Beyond got a radio signal from Jet and Tabitha, lost in the tunnel, and walked out into the woods saying the line that's plant the flag for the whole final season, maybe pulled that tree was the catastrophe, not the cure. That's the boat. Now let's argue about it. This is the one question the entire final season hang on. What are the bones for? The bones anchor the children's soul and by extension everyone trapped here. Free the bones, break the cycle, go home. Their real support for this, the entity itself told Tabitha earlier this season that retrieving the bones is something no previous cycle ever managed. And in the final, the boy in the white looks the entity dead in the eyes and say you are gonna lose this time. The darker read and the one actually by the original since her was his sacrifice. What if the cycle don't break by rescue the bones? What if it breaks by finishing the ritual correctly this time? The entity tells Tabitha she the courageous thing to a friend it's ever had. That's not something you say to someone you trying to destroy. That's something you say to some you are walking toward a choice. And there is a line buried in this season that how you do something matter as much as what you do. You can have the key and still be standing at the wrong lock. And here the uncomfortable part, if this end in a sacrifice done right, the show has spent 4 seasons quickly building the structure for who every incarnation of his mother arrived with a son and a daughter. There always a long surviving child. Victory was that built in 1978, and right now Victory is deliberately preparing Ethan to be the next one. I'm not saying this end with a kind of an altar. I don't think this show is that critical in this specific way, but the piece for it have been placed carefully for years. My word is suspended on purpose because the show itself has not given the structured character the lock, only the key. But if I'm betting on tone, I'm betting on costly and complicated over the clean rescue. This is a show that has said over right. Knowledge here always costs something, which is why I think the lock is real place and almost nobody talks about is not the lake of tears. Ethan dreamed it in episode 2 of the entire city. This season a ghost began him to find it. He found it a lake with human shapes surfacing in the water. A show does not seed a location that early and revisit in that deliberately for nothing. Risty's place exist or alter. I don't know which, but that's where I'm watching. Man in Yellow versus Boy in White. In the final, these two finally stand in the same frame and talk like players who have been across a boat from each other for century. You are gone, lost this time. I guess we'll see the obvious read clean cosmic duality, good guy, bad guy, town full of pawn. And yeah, it that's give you lost flashback. You are not wrong. That's really lineage there. But I think the show is deliberately modifying that. The actors playing the entity has describe it not as evil, but as something that genuinely find all this fun. A game, not villain. And when the creators were asked directly whether the boy in the white is good or bad, they would not answer. They said he connected to these characters. I will back have to wait and see if that a good thing or a bad thing. When the writers won't confirm which side the good figure is even on, that's not coyness, that's flag that the hero villain framing is about to get complicated. Quick mammoth check while we are here, the boy in white is visible older this season, and yes, the entity look at you all grew up line makes that feel meaningful, but the creators have been upfront that part of is this simply the child actor again in real life and they choose to write in it rather than fight it. So some of again is theme, some of it just biology. The writers turned into a story beat. Don't build your whole theory on it. Here the part that is not theory, it's just math. The town has zero protection left, no tree, no talisman, and this show has been extremely consistent. No talisman on the door means the things some come on. So the opening stage of season 5 is going to be brutal. Too many people, not enough wall, nothing to put over the door. There's a smart theory that the bottle tree was not just protection but the actual keystone regulating the whole town, which is why the boy in white always seeming it want it left alone. If that true, when we never should have pulled that tree is not guilt, it's a diagnosis, but don't let them erase the simpler fact is sitting right next to it. The talisman were their own separate protection and the entity destroy them on purpose. Two losses they stack, they don't cancel out. The three to watch. Fast round because these all matters but don't each need 10 minutes. Fatima still has her mind after turning when writers are asked what happened to her and they say they can't answer without spoiling the ending. That's not a character who done the character about to matter, a monster that can still choose a weapon this town has never had. Henry and Victor. Henry Brake mirrored what happened to Abby Bond 5 years ago. The town has a specific way of convincing people reality is the lie. Victor already lost one parent to the place, watching him possibly lose a second is going to carry real emotion weight, and the creator have set Henry choice ripples for the rest of the story. Julie. The story walker she can enter and experience the town pass through. She can't change it. If the she one rule is that the answer to be in are the beginning. Julie is the most obvious engine for actual delivering the beginning. Watch her. The word Ankui confirmed meaning remember the bone. The whole town nearly died for tired to a word that means remember in a so huge horror entirely about a place that run on forgetting whatever break this cycle but memory is part of the mechanism. One theory to retire Eloise being secretly alive. The creator have plotly confirmed she dead. If you see that theory floating around, it's built on nothing. Every single person in the final learned something, and every single one of them bad. For it, Elgin learned the truth and killed him. Henry learned his whole life was fake and cost him his son trust. Jad and Tabitha learned where the bones were and the cost of town its last protection. Bjorn learned the bold move might have been wrong one, and now he walking into dark into light with that. The bones are the biggest piece of knowledge this show has ever handed its character, and the price of opening that door has not been padded. That's where I'm putting my market. The bones are the key, the cost is the question, and this show has never once let anyone learn the truth for free. I don't think it's start now. So tell me, freedom sacrifices, which lock are they walking toward, and who do you think pay for it? Drop it below. I read everyone, and the best theory is here. The next video. Bye bye.